Thank you, sir.
All right. All right. So this morning we will begin this morning's Franklin County Board of Commissioners General Session agenda for November 24th, 2020. If everyone please remember that this is a public meeting, and we are, and because it's a public meeting, if you would please also remember that we need to practice decorum as if it were a public meeting being held in person. So also, if you are calling in on your cell phone, if you could please remember to mute your line by pressing *6, that would be appreciated. And let's begin this morning's meeting with Pledge of Allegiance, led by Commissioner Boyce.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Thank you. And clerk, if you could please remind me to not forget to get the approval of the minutes. But before we do that, if we could turn the program over to Chief Deputy Prosecutor Nick Soulis.
Thank you, Commissioner O'Grady, Commissioner Boyce. I just wanted to make an introduction. As you all know, the office is in transition, and I am very happy to announce that somebody that I'm sure you guys know well, Janine Hummer, has joined our office. She's the most recent hire here, who will be replacing me coming January 4th. And I just wanted to, this is her first commissioner meeting here in her role as an assistant prosecuting attorney, and she will be the first assistant of the civil division. And I just wanted to take about 30 seconds to have her say hello to you, if that's all right.
Great. Thank you, Nick. Welcome.
Well, thank you very much. I'm pretty excited, and I know many of you, and I appreciate the opportunity to participate and be part of the good work that you do. And I hope to be helpful to get you to reach all your goals.
Well, we appreciate that. Thank you, Janine. Wonderful to have you here. Glad you're on board. And to Mr. Soulis, thank you for all the work you've done over the years, and the help that you've been, and the good work on behalf of the residents of Franklin County.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Yeah, I also add too, Nick, it's been a pleasure working with you. You know, I think that yes, one of the difficult things about all of us in public service, things change, people change, and it's somewhat of a challenge because people we all get used to each other. We all become part of the Franklin County family. But I'm absolutely certain it's Janine, right? Did I say it right? I'm absolutely sure that Jean will step in and become a part of that Franklin County family for the Board of Commissioners anyways. And we just appreciate your time and service. It's been a pleasure working with you.
Thank you. Thank you for the kind words. I appreciate that.
We appreciate it. Looking forward. Thank you for everything, Nick, and we look forward to working with you, Janine, as well. All right. Thanks, guys. Now we will move on. If we could get an approval of the minutes of the October 6th, 2020 general session, the November 19th, 2020 briefing session, the November 16th, 2020 administrative briefing, and the 2021 budget hearings of November 17th and 18th, 2020.
So move.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Voting, Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
The minutes have been approved. Thank you.
Thank you. And on to County Auditor.
Resolution number 825-20. Resolution authorizing a contract with Data Cloud Solutions, LLC for professional implementation services and a software as a service agreement for mobile assessment tools in the amount of $1,264,407.20.
Thank you, Clerk. Good morning, Commissioner Boyce, Commissioner Brown,
Morning.
Commissioner O'Grady. It's my honor to join you. Michael Cinziano, Franklin County Auditor. As Dean mentioned, resolution number 825-20, authorizing a 4-year contract with Data Cloud Solutions, LLC. Before I begin, I do want to mention that a lot of this effort has been spearheaded by our county through the Auditor's Office Appraisal Director, Lance Gate. Lance was on and maybe took himself off. He's very quiet, but has been a great resource and been through a number of this appraisal processes through the office. What this technology will do will really help serve as a game changer for our office and future Franklin County Mass appraisals. We use paper property cards that appraisers fill out by hand while in the field, which then has to come back and be keyed into 2 separate data systems in the office. The Data Cloud Solution Mobile Assessor tool will completely digitize the process and bring the office out of that old school approach and into the 21st century. Appraisers will have tablets that will directly communicate with our county's CAMA system. Appraisers can make real-time edits to the property cards for new parcel measurements, updates to structures and land uses, and do immediate quality control checks during inspections. All of this will then get automatically updated into the CAMA system every 15 minutes while out in the field. The timing, why we're looking at this now, aligns with our future look at the next mass appraisal contract on the heels of the 2020 triennial process. The office is in the process of curing the next mass appraisal work for the 2023 reassessment, testing the optimal functionality of the system with 2 years of annual maintenance. So years 21 and 22 leading into 23 will ensure that the appraisal staff and any appraisal firm will be experts with the technology, make sure we have no hiccups, and really be the most responsive and accurate mass appraisal we've ever had in Franklin County. One of the really great features of the system is we hope to bring more attention to the public once the system is implemented. We'll have the ability to track in real time where the appraiser employees and contractors are throughout the county at any given time. This is part of the power that the mobile assessor tool provides, so the public can see where assessors are and be aware that an individual may be in your neighborhood, may be in your front porch, conducting a field interview during the assessment process. It also brings a new layer of real-time accountability to the practice, so we can know that all neighborhoods are getting the same amount of boots on the ground and attention regardless of geography or location. Again, really excited and appreciate your consideration and support of this resolution.
Auditor Cinziano, Commissioner Grady, may I ask a question?
Please.
Yeah, Auditor Cinziano, is this a typical cost? I mean, that's a big expenditure for one thing. It's technology, so it's always expensive. But is that typical? Is this lower? Is this higher?
So the mobile assessor is, I would say, the appropriate cost for the scope and size of the project. If we didn't have it, you wouldn't incur that expense. One of the recommendations from the performance audit that we had when we came in 2019 was that we needed a tool like this to get better quality control and better data management. So we're comfortable with the cost, and I think it aligns with what mobile assessor costs for any of the counties in Ohio.
Okay, all right, thank you. If there are no further comments or questions, move for adoption of 825-20.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 825-20 has been adopted.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Cinziano. On to the county engineer.
Resolution number 826-20. Resolution authorizing the Franklin County engineer to enter into a contract modification with Strasser Construction Incorporated for the 2019 Franklin County Road Maintenance and Safety Program, an increase of $12,001.40 for a revised contract amount of $496,670.77.
Morning, Commissioners.
Good morning. Good morning, Wolverine.
It's keeping me warm.
It looks like it's keeping you warm.
Commissioners, officially, my name is Cornell Robertson, County Engineer for everyone in Franklin County. And I'd like to take just a minute, if I could, to say a few words. And undoubtedly, 2020 has been a challenging year for all of us. But during this week of Thanksgiving, there are many, many things that I'm thankful for. And I want to thank God for all of those blessings. And I want to wish all of you, all of your staff, our audience, and quite frankly, the whole world, a happy Thanksgiving. Commissioners, this first resolution, as stated, is a construction contract modification with Strasser to provide additional safety measures on Schleppe Road. Schleppe Road is in the northeast part of the county, in Plain Township, west of Route 605 and south of the county line between Franklin County and Delaware County.
Okay. If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 826-20.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 826-20 has been adopted. Resolution number 827-20, authorization for the Franklin County engineer to enter into an agreement with the City of Columbus to assist the city with snow and ice removal during the 2020-2021 winter season.
Commissioners, this is an annual resolution. It's a participation that we have between the Franklin County Engineer's Office and City of Columbus. One of those perfect examples of what I like to call the Franklin County way, sometimes mistakenly called the Columbus way. I'm just kidding. But anyways, this is a partnership where
I like that mistakenly called the Columbus way. That's good. That's good.
This is a partnership where we work together on plowing snow and de-icing roadways. You know, the corporation limits jog all over the place. And so it simply makes sense sometimes for us to plow and de-ice the section that's City of Columbus and vice versa. And so this intergovernmental agreement allows for common sense government for our constituents. It goes through until April 15th of 2021, and I would respectfully request your approval.
Okay. If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 827-20.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 827-20 has been adopted. Resolution number 828-20, resolution authorizing the Franklin County engineer to enter into agreements with farmers to leave corn stalks in the ground as snow fence barriers in the amount of $20,000.
Commissioners, this too is a resolution that we bring to you on an annual basis. Going back to 20 years, this is a process where we work with the farmers along county routes and ask them to leave corn stalks in place where it makes sense, where the prevailing winds otherwise would blow snow onto the county routes. This saves considerable cost of placing snow fence, the labor that goes into that, the equipment, and then the subsequent labor and equipment to come back and remove the snow fence. So this is a very environmentally friendly type of process. And in a way, it's an example of spatial separation from 20 years ago, well ahead of its time. So would again request your approval.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 828-20.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 828-20 has been adopted.
Thank you all very much. Again, happy Thanksgiving.
Engineer, giving to you as well, Engineer Robertson. It's good to have you back. I know you've been away for a short period of time due to some unforeseen circumstances. So it's good to have you back. Your beard reminds me, though. I meant to say something earlier. It is it's the end of November. This is our last meeting before the end of the month. I know that Commissioner Boyce and I don't know if anybody else on here, and I know Cornell, I know you've had that beard for some time. Kevin and I both generally have a little bit of facial hair, but I know the two of us have both been doing No Shave November. Maybe some of the other gentlemen on the video conference this morning may be doing it as well, but I haven't called attention to it throughout the course of the month, and I didn't want to get through the meeting today without making sure we did say something about it. I've been doing No Shave November for the last 5 years since my older brother Mike passed away from myelodysplastic syndrome, which is a form of leukemia, and so I've been doing it every November for the last 5 years to remember him and to honor him. And so I
And you
usually
look like him with the beard. You look just like him, man.
yeah,
Seriously.
I've heard that before, but I usually get a pretty full growth. I got to admit this year I got a little bit of a late start. Kevin and I were running. We were on the ballot this year. And I forgot, and I actually shaved. The last time I shaved was on election day.
Election day. Yeah.
And so this is all since November 3rd, which is 3 weeks ago today. Kevin, how are you doing? How's your?
Yeah, man. I started growing this like in March, and so here we go. This is what I got since March. So this is like the best it gets. But I think to your point, it's the bigger message, and it's solidarity for men to say that something that we all know we have to pay attention to. We have to get checked on a regular basis. And I think, I'm doing my part by bringing awareness but it just takes a little more work with me,
Yeah.
So
well, people will notice there's a little bit extra scruff there for you, and so they'll wonder after a couple of weeks they'll wonder what's going on there, and so questions. But yeah, it's and then this year when all of our health focus has been on COVID-19, then other health issues get pushed aside, and so folks that have been suffering with these other health issues don't get nearly the acknowledgement or the recognition that they need in a year like this. And so, it was that, and it's just a good way for me to remember my older brother, and definitely like to do that every November, and we just my family. My nieces and nephews sure like when I do it, and so even though I'm not sure my wife likes the look, so but I'll keep it for as long as I can put up with it. So maybe you guys will see this until sometime early next year, and then we'll see if I can still do it. Cornell likes to sport his beard year round, but I'm not sure. I just like I've had a goatee for the better part of the last 35, 40 years. So. But the full beard, we'll see. We'll see how long I can keep it up.
I've been holding on to this thing since November of 2019. That's when I started the beard then, and Commissioner Boyce inspired me to go no shave November. And so when my wife explained how much
you shaved it down a couple of times. You shaved it down a couple of times. It's been way longer than that.
Yeah, there's been some grooming. Yeah, that's for sure.
Cornell, you're starting to look like a Major League Baseball player with that look.
Operator.
Well, anyway, I wanted to make sure that this morning I was thinking about it. I wanted to make sure we talked about it today, just because it's the last meeting of November, and next Tuesday is December 1st. So I wanted to make sure that we said something about it today. So
maybe next year we'll get Dean to grow one. What do you think about it? Dean's, he likes to keep it real neat and tight.
That does not go well. It does not go well.
We'd all like to see it, though, Dean. We'd all like to see it come in.
That's like Kevin Pangrace in my office. He teases himself about how badly his beard grows. So, oh, look at that, Earl. Are you doing no shave November too, Earl?
Nah, this is just a struggle beard. That's what that's
That's the way it is. Yours looks pretty good, though. I like it.
Thank you.
Mine doesn't take too long. About a week, and I have pretty much a full beard. So I've never struggled in that direction. Anyway, well, let's get back to the agenda. I just want to
stay safe and healthy.
Take care, Cornell.
Bye, sir.
All right, so let's move on to the recorder. Chris has been waiting there patiently, so growing a beard the whole time.
Without a beard. Good morning, clerk. Good morning, commissioners. Good morning, everyone else. Thank you again for having us.
Just 1 second. I'm sorry. Give me just 1 second. Resolution number 829-20. Resolution authorizing the set aside for the Recorder's Technology Fund for calendar year 2021. It's all yours.
Thanks, Dean. Good morning again, everyone. Thanks for having me here today to seek approval for the 2021 Recorder's Office Technology Fund. January 1st through December 31st, we're asking for $4 from the base fee of every recorded document in the office. It's the same that we requested last year. The office collects just under about $10 million on average. As you all know, half of that goes to the Housing Trust Fund. We're asking for about $670,000 of the other half that goes to the general fund to run this technology fund. We use it for basic technology needs in the office for all of our recording and filing program, but also for upgrades, replacements for machines here on the 18th floor, as well as in the document imaging center, county microfilming board. Some of that technology can be very expensive. So we do plan about 3 years ahead for maintenance, replacing machines if any unforeseen issues come up. One thing that I think is important to point out this year under the COVID situation, our office normally averages about 178,000 recorded documents a year. This year, we're looking at about 206,000 documents. So a huge increase, a lot of refinances, a lot of people still selling homes. And because of the technology fund, we've been able to purchase laptops, webcams, other technology to allow the majority of our staff to work from home and to be segregated when they're here in the office. That's basically the gist of it. I'm happy to entertain any questions. If not, ask to seek your approval for the 2021 Technology Fund.
Hey, Administrator Wilson, have we expended all of the COVID-19 funds, the CARES Act funds?
Commissioner, we are still making some adjustments. We still do have some balance that can be moved.
No, I'll ask because it might be, I mean, this just makes me think about other technology changes and needs that we may have outside of BOC or outside of, in some other county agency that might be COVID-19 related. And so I know we're still coming up on the date that is initially set by the U.S. Treasury. And so it might be worthwhile just kind of looking at some of those technology purchases across the board like this one even. I don't have a problem with this resolution, but I know we've got to currently, until the date changes, until Congress changes the date, if they do, run up on that deadline to spend the rest of those funds. So.
Yes, Commissioner Boyce, Commissioner O'Grady, President O'Grady, we made some, as you know, in our prior September 30th reporting, reflected some minor technology purchases for some remote computer for the support tail work. And then Thursday's briefing, we have a couple more grants up for your consideration. But we will, I will talk with our CIO and see what maybe we can consider between now and the end of the year. And that might change again, as you stated, if something happens that provides us some more flexibility on the tail end of the grant period for the CARES Act dollars.
Thank you. If there are no further comments or questions, move for adoption of 829-20.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Resolution number 829-20 has been adopted.
Thanks, everyone. Have a good Thanksgiving.
Thanks, Chris. You too.
Thank you.
The Sheriff's Department.
Resolution number 830-20, no cost supplemental contract modification and extension number 1 with Matrix Point Software LLC and the Franklin County Sheriff's Office for the Matrix Police Case Management System.
Good morning, Commissioners. Dave Masterson, representing Sheriff Dallas Baldwin. The contract before you authorizes a no-cost modification and extension. It updates the administrative requirements, the fee payment schedule, and term of the contract, which now extended out to September 30th, 2028. This is the result of some unexpected delays in development, some server issues that we were working through, as well as issues caused by the COVID-19 pandemic. Pending any questions, I ask approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 830-20.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Resolution number 830-20 has been adopted.
Great.
Thank you.
Take care, Dave. Happy Thanksgiving. On to the Treasurer.
Resolution number 831-20, resolution authorizing a contract with Mapsys Incorporated to provide requested support and maintenance to the Franklin County Treasurer application in the amount of $95,000.
Yes, good morning, Commissioners. My name is Jim Holmes. I'm the Chief Technology Officer for the Treasurer's Office. and we are requesting approval of a supplemental contract with MAPSIS for continued maintenance and support of the Franklin County Treasurer System and related applications. It is a 6-month contract beginning December 3rd and not to exceed $95,000. If there are no questions, I request approval of this resolution. Thank you.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 831-20.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 831-20 has been adopted.
All right, great. Thanks, Jim. On to the Board of Elections.
Resolution number 832-20, resolution authorizing supplemental appropriations to cover election-related expenses. Director, you're muted, sir.
Thank you. Good morning, Commissioners. Ed Leonard.
Morning.
The resolution you have before you is for supplemental appropriation to cover some of the necessary payroll costs associated with the large number of seasonal staff and poll workers that were needed for this election, as well as overtime and PERS costs associated with the seasonal personnel. And the Board of Elections has waited as long as it could to seek the supplemental appropriation using existing funds to the greatest extent possible. And I know our fiscal officer here at the Board of Elections has coordinated closely with Gary Collins from OMB on this resolution. Pending any questions, I'd respectfully request approval of the resolution and to wish everybody on this call a safe and happy Thanksgiving.
Great. Thank you, Director. Hey, so I know we had talked about in briefing just some of the review that you all are doing with regards to this past election. What's the status of that, and kind of when can we expect some type of update? Because I'm really curious as to, the details around the ballot mailing issue and some of the other issues that, kind of became an issue.
It is underway. I mean, I anticipate completing it before I leave, that's for sure, is that, again, part of the focus has been getting through the election so that, again, we don't want to be in a situation where we're, trying to assign blame to vendors or staff when we're really working towards getting the election done. But we have begun that process, collecting some of the information, but I really want to put together a more comprehensive report that talks about everything that was involved in that in terms of our process. Once we identified the issue, all the efforts that we did to correct it, as well as the ongoing steps that we're taking as well. So, and again, I want to make sure it's as comprehensive as we can.
Yeah, I can appreciate that. And I would tell you, I definitely understand the whole issue about placing blame, but at the end of the day, someone's got to own that, and from my own standpoint, I certainly want to speak for Commissioner O'Grady or Commissioner Brown, but I know from my standpoint as a commissioner, I feel we have some element of responsiveness to closure around, how those things happen. And more importantly, and I know you agree with me, Ed, but more importantly, that it doesn't happen again. And that, we are a large county, we're only going to get larger, and it's only going to become more complex. And we just really want to minimize those type of things, and this is a situation where we were, it's probably the largest election we've ever seen in our lifetime. And, it's not the kind of time we don't want to be at our very best. So I'm eager to get that, and I'm going to support this resolution. I trust your leadership and judgment here, but I'm going to support this resolution, but I will tell you, I'm not letting it go. And, this is something that I want answers, and I think the public deserves those as well.
Right. And I'm with you on that. I do recognize the need for that for both the commissioners as well as the public, that we need to lay that all out so people can, again, we approach this with an air of transparency. And so I want to make sure that we continue down that path.
Thank you.
Commissioners, this is Kenneth Wilson, County Administrator, kind of following up on Commissioner Boyce's question regarding CARES Act funding. The Board of Election was able to work with the Office of Management and Budget to identify just under 1.6 million in CARES Act dollars that are within this resolution to support this resolution. So just wanted to point that out. There's a 1.56 million that's allocated to the coronavirus relief fund.
So what, that begs the question of for what, so what are we using those funds for? And I mean, I support the resolution here, generally speaking, and maybe we don't need to take up the full time of the session, but if you got it on hand in a nutshell, what are we using the vast majority? That's a lot of money.
Seasonal employees, to cover additional costs for seasonal employees within this resolution is about 1.3 million. And then there's 500,000 in overtime, as well as fringe benefit costs associated with those increases.
I mean, really the additional staffing, every single division of the office, from processing voter registrations to election, post-election processing of provisionals, required additional staffing, just preparing all the PPE, breaking it down from bulk shipments down to bundles that were more manageable to each individual polling location, the tens of thousands of applications that needed to be processed both outbound and then when they came back to us, processing of, because there are things that you can take technology to, but then there are just tasks that require people. And again, that processing of all the return absentee ballots, extracting ballots, the larger team that we needed in order to recruit poll workers, assign them, train them, or scheduling them for training. And we had over 1,000 more poll workers than we've had in past elections. Typically in a presidential election, we're looking at around 4,000. And this time we were well over 5,000 poll workers that we assigned this election. And then just the tremendous influx of interest in serving at the polling locations strained the ability to communicate and place and schedule poll workers. And then just that large contingent of staff and seasonal staff, both inside and outside the early vote center. It ran smoothly there. But again, it was just, we expanded the footprint of the vote center, which required more people. We had more machines than we've ever had, and curbside voting option, as well as the drive-through ballot drop-off. Again, all the staff we had inside and outside to help things move as smoothly as we could. So, and then just overtime that's associated with that, because we end up having far more than 40 hours a week with that staff. So hopefully it gives you some insight.
Sure. I mean, it definitely does. And I appreciate both of you being prepared to break that detail down. It all makes sense. I mean, I'll just make this one statement and move on. I really do think that at some point we need to begin to think about building the type of Board of Elections facility that can accommodate a large county like Franklin County. I mean, this county is not only massive, but is getting more massive and only going to get larger. And, while I think we've done everything we could with the current site that we can, I think there's something to be said about a state-of-the-art Board of Elections facility that can accommodate, a drive-through voting, that can accommodate large volume of parking, large lines, safety requirements and needs, ADA compliant needs on every level. I mean, it's something that we ought to really begin to think about. I'll just leave it at that.
And I would encourage as well that the County Commissioners Association, working with the Election Official Association, to advocate for an expansion of early vote centers, so that we aren't doing just one drop-off location, same location.
Or that. That's right. Yeah, that's a big good idea too.
We've been advocating for that. The legislature's not going to allow it as long as it's.
All right.
We've been advocating for it.
So have we. So I understand.
It's frustrating, but voter suppression is rampant in Ohio, and they're not going to make it easier for folks to vote. It's just not going to happen. They're not going to do it during a pandemic, Ed, for God's sakes. When are they going to do it? If you make it easier for people to vote, Republicans lose.
And John, I mean, Commissioner O'Grady, I totally agree with you. And I think that's why, Ed, it's really important that, when we see these suppressive acts or even missteps, we need the information as to what happened and why, because, I'm very curious as to why whatever feature was that turned off that caused that glitch. I just, I'm not pointing the finger, but to Commissioner O'Grady's point, this vote, it is our job to alleviate voter suppression best we can. And we're swimming against the current with ankle weights on when it comes to dealing with that with some groups of people. Nonetheless, we've got to continue to combat it. And that's why I'm just not willing to let this issue go.
Understand.
That being said, my iPad went down here. Okay, so that being said, if there are no further comments or questions, move for adoption of 832-20.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Voting, Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 832-20 has been adopted.
Thank you, Commissioners, and happy Thanksgiving.
You too, man.
Economic Development and Planning.
Resolution number 833-20, resolution authorizing the approval of 17 fiscal year 2020 U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development funded grant agreements to provide community development services to Franklin County residents in the amount of $1,952,458.
Morning, Commissioners. Director Jim Shimmer. I wanted to take a second out and publicly thank Mr. Soulis, Harold Anderson, and Adria Fields for their work with us in the Prosecuting Attorney's Office. Economic Development and Planning has worked closely with them over the years, and they've been terrific colleagues. With that, I'd like to turn this over to Mark Paxson. He'll lead you through this resolution.
Great.
Good morning, Commissioners. On July 28th, by way of Resolution 494-20, the Franklin County Board of Commissioners adopted the county's 2020 Annual Action Plan to HUD. This identifies how the county intends to allocate HUD funds granted to it. By way of that resolution, the board approved specific community development programs and projects. As such, EDP is seeking approval of these 17 fiscal year 2020 funded grant agreements. This is to provide community development services to Franklin County residents. The 17 contracts total $1.95 million. In terms of affordable housing, $1,050,000 is allocated. In terms of public service, $240,000 is allocated. $305,000 is allocated for economic development projects. Towards homeless prevention, $247,721 is allocated, and $110,000 is allocated in terms of planning, administration, and compliance. Pending any questions, I respectfully request approval of this resolution.
Okay, if there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 833-20.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Voting, Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 833-20 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mark. Thanks, Jim. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, guys.
Sanitary Engineer.
Resolution number 834-20. Resolution authorizing a private sewer agreement and license agreement with Jones Estates LLC for Pleasant Acres Mobile Home Park.
Good morning, Commissioners. Ryan Stowe with the Sanitary Engineer. All the way back in 2002, the Director of EPA issued orders to the Board of Commissioners to provide sewer, sanitary sewer in the Darby-Dale area, which was defined to include Pleasant Acres Mobile Home Park. Since then, the Sanitary Engineer has designed, constructed, and currently operates and maintains sanitary mains and a wastewater treatment plant. The owner of Pleasant Acres Mobile Home Park, Jones Estates, wishes to design and construct at their own expense a sanitary pump station and 6-inch force main to convey wastewater to the county's Darby-Dale wastewater treatment plant. The office has reviewed and accepted the pump station design plan submitted by American Structure Point. Additional flows from the mobile home park have been determined not to be detrimental to the capacity of our wastewater treatment plant in Darby-Dale. And on October 15, 2019, the owner, Jones Estates, was issued an approved permit to install by the Ohio EPA. With that being said, the county has granted the owner permission to construct the sanitary pump station, which will discharge into the county's sewer system per the terms signed in the private sewer agreement. In addition, the county has granted a license to the owner of the mobile home park for the sole purpose of making and maintaining a sanitary sewer connection as set forth in the license agreement. Pending any questions or comments, we request the approval of this resolution.
Okay. If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 834-20.
Ryan, did you say this Pleasant Acres is down in Garberdale, down in Southwest?
Yes, it's just off of 665.
That's what I thought. Okay. Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 834-20 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving, Ryan.
You too. Thanks, Commissioner. Bye.
Job and Family Services.
Resolution number 835-20. Resolution approving a subaward agreement with the Center for Healthy Families Incorporated for teen, parenting, and pregnancy prevention services in the amount of $250,000.
Good morning, Commissioners. Vivian Turner, Assistant Director with Job and Family Services. The Center for Healthy Families has provided coaching and support to more than 1,100 teen families in Franklin County moving toward economic self-sufficiency since 2009. Our agency has funded their Parent Education Support Group, a community and school-based program for teen mothers and fathers, for the past 7 years. The program, which is offered at Briggs, Independence, Walnut Ridge, and West High Schools, as well as Life Skills Columbus Southeast, provides teens with individualized planning with the goal of delivering healthy babies, increasing knowledge of safe sleep practices, delaying subsequent pregnancies, and helping teens to make the successful transition to parenthood while also accomplishing, or I should say, also completing their education. Under this new agreement, the center will assist 80 eligible pregnant and parenting teens using both virtual and in-person approaches. This resolution supports goal number 8 of the Rise Together Blueprint, improving maternal and child health among high disparity groups struggling financially. Pending any questions, I request your approval.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 835-20.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 835-20 has been adopted. Resolution number 836-20. Resolution approving a subaward agreement with the Franklin County Office on Aging and a contract with Franklin County Probate Court for adult protective and guardianship services in the amount of $1,700,000.
The Ohio Revised Code designates county departments of Job and Family Services responsible for providing protective services for elderly adults who have been abused, neglected, or exploited. The ORC permits us to designate another agency to administer these services, and we have contracted annually with the Franklin County Office on Aging to do so since 1999. We are seeking approval to continue this practice for calendar year 2021. The Office on Aging conducts approximately 2,000 APS investigations each year. As you know, our agency also is responsible for administering the Title 20 block grant locally via contracting for necessary services. This includes working with Probate Court and the Public Guardianship Board to fund oversight and other protective services for elderly adults who require court-appointed guardians. The board serves adults ages 60 and over who are referred to the court for adult protective services by Franklin County Office on Aging. The court-appointed social workers will provide direct assistance, make arrangements when necessary, and ensure upward of 50 APS-referred seniors receive the services they need and are treated with the respect and dignity they deserve. Pending any questions, I request your approval.
There are no comments or questions. Move for adoption of 836-20.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 836-20 has been adopted. Resolution number 837-20. Resolution approving a subaward agreement with Future Ready Columbus to support early learning and student data systems in the amount of $410,000.
Commissioners, for several years, our agency has partnered with Future Ready Columbus and their subcontractor HMB to make student data from the C-Hive and Learning Circle tools available to community agencies. C-Hive tracks data for children in early learning settings to support kindergarten readiness, by monitoring children's strengths as well as areas for improvement. CHIVE helps to track performance and measure effectiveness of early learning programs. Learning Circles is an early warning indicator and intervention system that monitors attendance, behavior, and core academics data for grades K through 12. It is also available for many of our after-school and summer camp program providers. Over the last award period, approximately 14,000 students were identified with early warning indicators through their Learning Circles platform, while nearly 2,400 children under the age of 5 benefit from the CHIVE early learning tracking platform. Your continued support will enable Future Ready and its subcontractor, HMB, to continue managing these systems and provide support to youth service programs. This resolution also supports goal number 11 of the Rise Together Blueprint, increasing the number of students at or near the poverty level experiencing academic success. Pending any questions, I request your approval.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 837-20.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 837-20 has been adopted. Resolution number 838-20. Resolution approving subaward agreements with multiple community agencies for Franklin County out-of-school time youth programs in the amount of $3,722,500.38.
Commissioners, these out-of-school time programs or in-person learning extension centers will provide TANF eligible youth ages 5 through 13 a safe place to attend virtual classes while their parents are working or pursuing their education. In addition to providing access to the internet and academic support, they will also incorporate trauma-informed care techniques and social-emotional learning into their programming. Together, the 14 agencies will serve upward of 930 students through the course of the 2020-21 school year. We've invited 2 leaders from our providers today that I'd like to invite to speak a bit about their programs. But before I do so, I wanted to address the new guidance from our public health partners. With the number of cases continuing to rise and the new stay-at-home advisory and curfew in effect locally, we're empowering all of our contracted out-of-school time providers to be responsive to the conditions on the ground. As a result, some providers have temporarily pivoted to virtual programming and others may follow if they feel it is necessary. While it is certainly our hope that these will be a short-term measure, our number one priority is for our out-of-school time programming is the safety and well-being of our young people, their families, and the dozens of staffers at these organizations. We will continue to keep close communication with all of our partners. At this time, I'd like to introduce Douglas Shoemaker with the Whitehall City Schools and Dr. Saleshi with ET.
Thank you very much. Dr. Saleshi, I guess I'll go first.
Yes.
There we go. President O'Grady, Commissioners Brown and Boyce, thank you for this opportunity to thank the board for their support of our Whitehall students and families in your administration of TANF funding. I'm the Director of Support Services and Community Relations for Whitehall City Schools. I'd like to quickly highlight the 9 organizations that comprise our collective for learning extension centers in Whitehall City Schools. Through our LEC partnerships, currently we serve 54 students, with more than double that number able to be served as we spread the word about this new opportunity to further multiple county goals that are enumerated in the Franklin County Rise Together Blueprint. Those including Goal 11, to increase the academic success of children in poverty, as well as furthering a long-term action step of having schools serve as a local resource center, and of course, providing childcare for parents to work, which is from the jobs category of the blueprint itself. Our partners include the YMCA, Lead the Way Academy, and Eckerd Connects as program providers, as well as 2 local churches, Westfall Baptist and City of Refuge Baptist, who have generously agreed for us to use their space to house programming outside of the school buildings, which are being kept to no more than half full as we educate students in a hybrid model. This time of pandemic has opened the door for us to create a big tent approach to TANF programming, allowing and encouraging us to expand through new partnerships the diversity of our offerings from our traditional decade-long programming that we had done with the Y. Whitehall school leadership has recognized for many years the advantages of having a public school system be the organizing and driving force behind after-school programming. And now we've done pandemic childcare over the summer, morphing into the LECs, which we've just opened last week. Those advantages are all about leveraging organizational strengths. School systems have a monopoly of sorts on the customers in childcare. Plus, we have the Chromebooks, the curriculum, the passwords, the technology, the buses, the food service, the tutoring supports, which is another long-term action step. Our programming partners bring a diversity of personnel, methods, and expertise that we sorely need. The YMCA brings an awesome new facility in Whitehall. The Parks and Recreation bring their strengths. In a couple weeks, they'll be teaching our LEC kids about what animal fur is all about. I put that there before the men in this conversation were talking about their beards, but I suppose that's timely. And they'll be talking about nature and fossils and footprints. Ohio Guidestone is our mental health partner of Whitehall City Schools, and they will bring their services into the LEC spaces to connect with our students on the days when the children are not immersed in the finite amount of time they have to be in class in person every other day. Children's Hunger Alliance is also helping us with weekend and holiday food for children to take home with them. Our collective work has been really furthered by the organizational muscle of Partnership for Success, or P4S. I want to give them a shout out. Being a part of that collaborative made it so much quicker and easier for us who have the space and the students to find program providing partners who are looking for clients and a space. We all are part of a trusted organization focused on best practices in childcare. So matching us together was really smooth through P4S. And thanks to the board for the creation of the blueprint. It helps us focus our efforts in 3 of the 4 categories in the blueprint. And the existence of the P4S collective collaborative is a great way to bring an equity-centered approach to design and deliver services to students in need. So we thank the board very much for their work in this area.
Great.
May I?
Please.
Yes. Good morning. Good morning, commissioners. Commissioner President O'Grady, Commissioner Boyce, and County Administrator Mr. Wilson, my friend, Assistant Director Vivian Turner, and all who are attending this morning. I am here today with my Youth Director, Emmanuel Merdasa, also to really thank you, our commissioners and Job and Family Services, helping us continuously supporting our youth program, and especially this out of school, in person, academic support for our kids, for our new Americans, which allows us ETSS to host 4 learning extension centers throughout Franklin County to serve up to 200 children. This is really big in this critical time where our families are torn up between the decision that whether they have to leave their job and stay their children behind, or they have to stay with their children and they lose their job. So this learning extension center means that these families, a lot of families that we help them, they will keep their job, their children will be at a safe place, taking care of all the day, social emotional learning, trauma informed care, as well as all the academic support that they have to. So we are really providing, we train our staff because it's a very critical time, especially at this stay at home advisory. It's very critical. Families are worried, community leaders are worried about, but we trained our staff to keep the standard of the CDC, Franklin County Public Health Department protocols, so that they will keep the safety of themselves and then to our children. We hired professional cleaners who clean every day and at the same time disinfectant every week, so that as much as possible we want to keep the safety of our children, so that our families will really continue trusting us, and my staff, my directors are dedicated to continue in this difficult time. So I really thank you. But when you do this, it's not alone that we are doing. Two of our sites, especially our suburb. One of the far east side is serving the Reynoldsburg City School Districts, and also some part in Black Lake and Pickerington areas. The Whitehall site is also another location that, because we have a large number of Hispanic community in that area. The third site is in the north and northeast of Columbus. And the fourth site is on 161 in Tamarack Burwald area. So we try to cover as much as possible our Franklin County and suburb areas. So we really thank you. And also, our commissioners, that to just let you know this opportunity that we are very, very closely working with our Franklin County Public Health Department, with Commissioner Joe and Assistant Commissioner Teresa, in coordinating COVID-19 resource coordination project, where these centers, when we're providing services to our children, also want to make sure families are protected. And we are distributing now masks and hand sanitizers. We purchased about 35,000 masks and hand sanitizers so that, these families will be protected. And also those COVID-19 positive families has been accessing resources and food and supplies and rent and utility support. So really we thank the Franklin County Public Health Department. The third part that really we are working is with Columbus City Schools, with the funding support that we get from Columbus Foundation and I Know I Can. We hire 7 bilinguals who speak 7 languages: Arabic, Spanish, Somali, Mai, French, and Kini, Rwanda. That is really where the Columbus City School is looking for to mobilize parents and increase parents' engagement and to increase the school enrollment. So really our staff and bilinguals are working wonderfully, and then Columbus City Schools is really a good partner nowadays. And also we are working with Adam H. With a special program on crisis counseling program, where some of our families who have been traumatized by COVID-19, we hired about 5 community navigators throughout Franklin County. And then, we are helping our people, to counseling, culturally appropriate services, plus resource coordination. So in a nutshell, really, we are in every corner of county. We are proud of your leadership. We are your troopers at the ground level, implementing the policies and the plans that you are implemented through the blueprint, which is really a wonderful and model blueprint that you gave it to us. And I thank you for engaging and investing and believing on our new Americans. And really, I appreciate I love all my departments of Job and Family Services, Department of Homeland Security, Department of, now Franklin County Public Health. I mean, your departments they really believe that the impact of new Americans in Central Ohio. So thank you so much.
Thank you both. If there are no questions, Commissioner, this resolution, I also wanted to acknowledge, I think we have Jose Vicente with us today. He's one of our other providers. I want to thank him for joining the call. But if there are no pending questions, I request your approval of this resolution.
The only thing I'll say before I move for passage is that, these, as a kid who was a public school kid and who accessed a lot of those after school programs and those after school resources, I can tell you, you're making a difference, and it makes a difference in the lives of those young people and those families. Many of them who, we'd be surprised. They may not have access to food. They may not have access to tutoring services or after school services that just help them get through the challenge of their environment. And so I love these kind of resolutions and love this kind of work. And so hopefully I'm eager to get with the Whitehall City Schools and kind of see more about what they're doing. And I appreciate how you're approaching it with the partners and the different agencies. So maybe after the pandemic sort of quells a little bit, I have a chance to come out and see some of that work that you're doing. I'm very familiar with ETSS and been out there with Dr. Slushy a lot, so I know that. But I don't really have any questions. Just say keep up the great work, everybody. So if Commissioner Grady, you can say something.
Well, I do. I have appreciate the work you guys are doing. You guys are making it, as Commissioner Boyce said, you guys are making a great difference in our community. And certainly, we know the work of Dr. Saleshi. He's been a great partner for a long time. Mr. Shoemaker, in Whitehall, I have a question, and it's the same question, throughout the community. But when we provide, or when you provide the Chromebooks to the students, I mean, this is a fantastic thing that's been going on over the last few years throughout. I mean, obviously, it's happened quite a bit more here during the pandemic, but this has been going on in Central Ohio and other communities for a while, where kids are provided with Chromebooks, are provided with iPads, and then they have, obviously they've got the ability to be able to do their work. Are you finding kids that are having issues with access to the internet, and what are you guys doing when you find that that's a problem? And are you guys setting up hotspots? Are you what's been the answer in Whitehall? I know that other communities have had to address this issue. I'm just curious what the answer in Whitehall has been.
Yes, we were able to get hotspots to families that need them through our technology department and partnerships with technology companies. And we've continued to have actually more of those than what people needed to take. So we've continued to have a surplus of those items so that connectivity is there, because, and believe me, when March hit, we were not all the way there. We were not one-to-one with Chromebooks, but the CARES Act money and some other things have allowed us to really provide that.
That's great. I know that's been one of the issues that we had to deal with, and one of the things that we helped through ESCC and through with the city, partnering with the city and others that we've been able to help with is figuring out how to get people the bandwidth and the hotspots that were necessary. And again, you're right. In March, it wasn't exactly available at the time, but since then, we're certainly approaching this school year as the new school year started. Folks were more ready and more in place to be able to do a lot of that. So, and now it's a great thing because the schools are more and more schools are going towards all virtual, and so kids need to have that. I've just seen too many across the country, too many stories from colleagues and friends across the country, too many stories in the news media where kids are struggling without access, either access to the internet or access to the technology necessary. So it's great. It's great that you guys are able to, basically across Central Ohio, our folks are able to provide kids with the technology needs to be able to do their work from home. So good stuff. Thanks.
Thank you.
Commissioner Boyce, go ahead. You're welcome.
If there are no further comments or questions, move for adoption of 838-20.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Resolution number 838-20 has been adopted. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Resolution number 839-20. Resolution approving a subaward agreement with Sickle Cell Disease Association of America, Ohio Sickle Cell and Health Association, doing business as Ohio Sickle Cell and Health Association for community-based family support services in the amount of $40,000.
Commissioners, the Ohio Sickle Cell and Health Association helped with the establishment of the Lance and Eileen Porter Foundation, which aims to assist Central Ohio families that are underserved or overlooked by the systems currently in place. One of those underserved communities is the Crump Park community in East Columbus, just off Fifth Avenue and south of the airport, which experiences high poverty rates and unemployment. The HOPE project will provide place-based case management services, employment and social services referrals, housing assistance, and crisis stabilization. During the first year of their award, they served 115 Crump Park residents ranging from ages 10 to 50. Under this new agreement, they plan to serve up to 250 residents. The resolution supports goal number 10 of the Poverty Blueprint. Pending any questions, I request your approval.
Used to play softball at Crump Park a long, long time ago.
I'm sorry, my iPad went down. What's the resolution number? My iPad went down.
It's 839-20, Commissioner.
Okay, thank you. If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 839-20.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 839-20 has been adopted. Resolution number 840-20, resolution of a subboard agreement with Partners Achieving Community Transformation for a workforce training program in the amount of $200,000.
Commissioners, my last resolution for this morning. In partnership with the Ohio State University College of Nursing, PAC will offer the Community Health Work Training Program, which recruits individuals with a high school or GED equivalent to prepare them for employment and additional training in the healthcare industry. The CHW training program is a 12-week program that provides 104 hours of virtual and in-person classroom instruction, followed by 130 hours of community work experience. Participants who successfully complete the required class and clinical hours are eligible to earn a certification as a community health worker from the Ohio Board of Nursing. In the last program period, 75 students participated in the training program, and PAC plans to enroll another 75 students during this program period. This resolution supports goal number 3 of the Rise Together Blueprint, increasing access to relevant training and for credentials that meet the local demand with employer commitment to hire and promote. Pending any questions, I request your approval.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 839-20.
Second.
Commissioner, I apologize. It's we are at 840-20, sir.
Oh, okay.
Well, I'll tell you what, Dean, this is your opportunity. He messes with you so much whenever you make the slightest, misstep. And now here he is just, struggling.
Wait a minute. But this is on, I don't know what's wrong with so this is 840?
Yes, sir. This is the Partners Achieving Community Transformation.
Yeah,
Okay.
we already did sickle cell.
Yeah. I'm sorry. It's first of all, it's my iPad. I don't know what's going on with this thing. It's just not loading right. I don't know. And that's probably Dean's fault, by the way. So, so it's if there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 840-20.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 840-20 has been adopted.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioners. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving.
You
Commissioner
too.
Boyce has
Thanksgiving.
one job today, and that's to make a motion. Track of the man. All right. We're on the purchasing department now, Commissioner. So Megan's going to come up and she's going to present resolution 841. So keep track. Go ahead.
Write that down.
Welcome. Yeah, exactly. Welcome, Megan. Dean, you want to go ahead and read that resolution for her?
Resolution number 841-20. Resolution approving purchases for various Franklin County agencies in the amount of $1,784,793.10.
Good morning, Commissioners. Megan Perry-Balanier, Director of Purchasing. This resolution requests your approval of 101 purchase orders for which the County Auditor has pre-certified available funding. This week, 14 out of 17 eligible POs totaling $397,616.96 are being presented for award to 5 women business enterprises, 5 minority business enterprises, 3 small and emerging business enterprises, and 1 disadvantaged business enterprise. This represents 82% of the eligible PO volume and 98% of the eligible PO dollar value. Pending any questions, I request your approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of resolution 568-20. I'm just kidding. Resolution 841-20.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 841-20 has been adopted.
Thank you, Commissioners. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone.
Happy holidays.
All right. So the Board of Commissioners.
Resolution number 842-20, resolution appointing members to the initial board of trustees for the Rise Together Innovation Center.
Good morning, commissioners. Bart Logan here. This just appoints the final two members to the remaining vacancies for the initial board of the trustees for the Rise Together Innovation Center. They are Pastor Keith Troy from New Salem Baptist Church, as well as Shalade Tavares, the CEO for Primary One Health. In addition, it appoints the Deputy County Administrator of Health and Human Services, Joy Bivens, to an ex officio non-voting position on that initial board of trustees.
Okay. If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 842-20.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 842-20 has been adopted.
Thank you.
All right. So finish with the agenda. Clerk Hindenlang, do we have journalizations today?
We do, Commissioner. One this morning from Economic Development and Planning. Case number ANX-29-20, a municipal annexation petition, ANX-29-20, was filed with the Franklin County Economic Development and Planning Department on November 17th, 2020. The petition is requesting to annex 13.24 acres, more or less, from Jackson Township to the city of Grove City. The petition will be considered by the Board of Commissioners on December 15th, 2020. Site 4310 Grove City Road, PID number 160-000-646. And that's it, Commissioner.
Great. All right. So, Mr. Hopkins, do you have anything for the board today?
No questions for the board today. Just want to say happy holidays, be safe, and enjoy it as best you can. So, yeah.
You too, man. Thank you.
As well, Earl. Commissioner Boyce, while I won't be rooting for the Steelers on Turkey Day, do you think maybe you guys can, not screw this up? I really Ravens go 6-5. As much as I won't be rooting for your Steelers, I would appreciate a 6-5 Ravens team after Thanksgiving. So
we'll do our best, man. We'll do our best. Have a good holiday.
Yeah.
Sure.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Go Browns.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, everyone.
Take care.